Cannabis event sponsored by Thinking North. I'm with Scott Jardin, the president and CEO of AAA-Medic. Scott, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Give our viewers an introduction to the company.
Absolutely. We're a Montreal-based cannabis company, really focused on processing, but of course have some cultivation sites as well. So we're vertically integrated, if you will. We work with First Nations, Kanesatake, a wonderful couple out there by the name of Blake and Anna Freeman, who have band council approval to work with cannabis. And we also have a second cultivation site, which is going to be focusing on outdoor hemp. That's something that's recently accelerated quite a bit, and thanks mostly in part to the Government of Canada, the new C45 regulations, you can get an industrial hemp license in as little as 60 to 90 days.
Oh, wow.
So, this site, which previously was more of a long-term vision, now this 60 hectares of land comes into use right away. So we've applied for this license in early 2019, and we expect to get it before the growing season, which will take place late April, early May of this year. And if that's the case, that means we will have quite a bit of industrial hemp where we can extract the CBD at our Laval processing center, which is solely focused on processing, and we'll extract the oil and build value from there. So it's really about taking that oil and then what can you do with it. So, my group, we have a wonderful group of people, strategic partners with a lot of experience. They're going to come on board. Different extraction technologies. Butane is now allowed in Canada in terms of extraction technology. A lot of groups have been focused on CO2, but in the rec market, in particular if you look at the United States, butane is huge because it offers a different spectrum in terms of taste and profile and so forth.
Right.
Yeah.
And Scott, on the financial side, what are your funding requirements, and will you be looking to raise any capital?
Yeah, so what we've done, I think since last time I spoke to you guys, we've signed an advisory agreement with Gravitas Securities, who's a wonderful firm, great reputation on Bay Street, and they're very helpful to a Montreal, Quebec company, so we're very appreciative of that. And really the target here is to raise $12 million, okay? So $12 million really completes the construction build-out, the outfitting in terms of the equipment necessary, and some working capital for our Laval processing facility, but it also helps us advance our First Nations project, which is extremely important to us. It's a cultivation site, it helps the community as a whole. The Freemans are very anxious and helpful and want us to move forward in this project, and I think that we want to do all this together and put Kanesatake on the map in terms of a wonderful location to grow cannabis. So that $12 million allows us to build out that cultivation facility, build out the Laval facility, and really acquire the two licenses that we need to move forward. One is great, two is better, right? So that $12 million is going to come in the form of a debt and equity financial raise that Gravitas is undertaking on a best efforts basis, but I have complete faith that we're going to get it done, and in fact we're expecting some news in the short term. Yeah.
And Scott, finally, you touched on your relationship with the First Nations in Quebec. First of all, is that a business model that you're hoping to replicate across Canada or places in which you work? Second of all, why is that important to you as a cannabis company?
Well, I think, it's always important to help the local communities, and the Indigenous people, I think, to a certain respect, have been overlooked with respect to the cannabis bill. And, the government, rightfully so, is starting to recognize that and allow them to kind of advance a little bit quicker throughout the process. So, we met the Freemans and we hit it off really well, and we thought that we're very much aligned in what we want to do in terms of helping the people. So it's not just about getting high, it's really about, if you have a topical cream that can alleviate arthritic pain or, help relieve anxiety for certain people. A lot of people suffer from PTSD. There's a lot of different applications with respect to cannabinoids. So working with First Nations, Kanesatake is one of the best known reserves out there, and they're just a wonderful group of people. We had an opening ceremony with them, I believe it was back in October, and everybody came out, everyone was extremely supportive. Of course, everybody wants to ensure that we're doing the right thing and we're going to help the community, and that's really what we're focused on. So that is important for me personally because I don't look at this as, I don't want to get too much into the vice area of things. I want to focus on what's going to add value to society, what's going to add value to the communities. So from an economic point of view, it'll definitely be helpful to the community, but over and above that, I think the benefits of CBD and THC to a certain extent to treat different illnesses and so forth is extremely helpful. Yeah.
Scott, thank you so much for taking the time to